guys, I know it's been a really long time and you guys haven't seen a tutorial from me. I explained it a little bit in my blog and I'm not going to complain or talk about it right now because now I'm just excited to be back on YouTube. So today we're going to start out with a really easy tutorial and it's basically how to make clay roses. I actually made a bunch of these little roses so I could put onto one of my accessories that I was making for my competition piece. I was making a really simple basic tank for the model and I wanted her to wear something that accented the shirt, so I decided to make this little necklace here. Well, it's not really little, but it is a necklace, and there's a bunch of pearls and chains around. It's really self-explanatory. It is a bib necklace and I have a tutorial on how to make a bib necklace way earlier, way back. You could just search for it. The only difference on this one is that I sewed the matching fabric to the felt instead of just leaving the felt on. This gave it a little bit more professional and cleaner look. Everything else is pretty easy. You know, you glue a bunch of stuff together and then you sew on a bunch of things together, and pretty much that's how a bib necklace works. So let's get started. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about the clay that you could buy. I only work with polymer clay, and this is because I've never really ventured out into anything else. And polymer clay is fairly inexpensive, and also it's really easy to work with. Right here I have 3 different brands of clay. I have the Fimo clay, the Bake Shop clay, and the Sculpey clay. They all work basically the same. However, Fimo is a little bit harder to mold. It's just stiffer and thicker. It's not as moist. I would have to say Sculpey is a little bit messier. Sometimes it leaves like clay residues on your finger. Bake Shop is cleaner than Sculpey, but it's also as soft as Sculpey. I like all 3 of them just fine. However, when you're working with them, I do like how Fimo looks after you bake them. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to be using the Fimo clay because it's my favorite right now, and yeah, I just really want to bust open this package. By the way, if you're going to be working with polymer clay a lot, I would really invest in an X-Acto knife. It's only about $2 and you could do so many things with an X-Acto knife. So once you get your clay open, the first thing you want to do is take a little section of it out. I'm taking about 2 columns out, and then I'm going to divide it into sections of 3. Next, you're going to want to divide each of those 3 sections in half. So you're going to have like 6 little pieces like this. Take each one of them and roll them into a little pea-sized ball. Also keep in mind that if you're going to be working with Fimo clay, you always want your hands to be extremely clean, only because you don't want like dust to be baked into the clay. Now I'm going to be painting these afterwards, so I really don't care. If you're not going to be painting them, I think it's a really wise idea to have your hands clean all the time, and also to work on a really clean surface. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these and I'm going to flatten them out into a very thin disc. Don't make it too thin because you don't want to rip through it, but I mean as thin as you can. Flatten all of them out. They don't have to be a perfect circle. You know, sometimes these little grooves add a little bit of personality to the flower. Look at your little set of circles and pick up the one that is the biggest. I really can't tell. A lot of them are pretty even to me, so I'm just going to pick up a random one, but it's always nice to have one that's a little bit bigger than the others. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick it up and you're basically just going to roll it. Just like that. So when you look at it from the very top, it kind of looks like a little flower bud. This is the center of your rose. Once you have it looking like this, you kind of just want to take your thumb and push down the edges a little bit. This way it kind of looks like the flower is blooming. Next, take another petal. Kind of figure out how you want this next petal to lay. I always start off where the opening is. You see where there's like a little V kind of thing right here? I just place this petal right onto it like that. Just like that. And then I push the petal down, just like I did earlier. All the way around. See. Take another petal, and you're going to use the second petal from earlier as a guide. And you're going to put this petal on the side right here where this opening is at. I'm going to place it over like this. And once again, you kind of just want to push, the petal down, manipulate it a little bit so it kind of looks like an opening petal or just a rose. Take another circle. You're going to try to find, I guess, that little opening, which is now really big now and you can't really do much to it. So I'm going to go against this edge right here. Just place it right onto it. And again, you're just going to push it down Now once the rose is starting to get this big, you really don't have a guide anymore. All it is trying to put petals to where it needs to be filled up. So just keep adding on. And remember to push the petal down a little bit. I feel like this rose is a little uneven, so I'm going to make another circle to fill this little area up. There's really no set numbers of petals that you could use. It's always nice to remember that the bigger the rose is, the more petals you're going to need. Also, there are days when you're going to make a really fabulous looking rose using the same technique, and there are days the rose is not going to look so real or so pretty. So I don't know, it's just really up to the hand. It really takes a little bit of practice, but you shouldn't give up because this is way too easy to give up. Instead of using an X-Acto knife, I'm going to use a pair of scissors to cut it. It gives it a cleaner cut, and also you're not laying the rose down flat on the side and ruining the petals. I don't know, this rose is starting to look kind of funky, but I did this really fast. But this is pretty much it. It's really easy. How I would bake it is I would actually put it on like an old envelope or maybe like a note card like this. And I would heat my oven up to about 275, and then I would stick this in the oven. For Fimo clay, it would take about 25 minutes to bake this completely. Sculpey takes about 15 minutes. Bake Shop also takes about 15 minutes, and they're all at 275. I know it sounds really scary to stick a piece of paper in the oven, but it does not burn. Trust me, I've done this so many times, and there are people who have told me that I might set my house on fire, but it has never happened, and it works amazingly. But if you're afraid, then go ahead and put on like a parchment piece of paper or something. These are a few that I have spray painted. This one's kind of messed up, but yeah, but you get the gist. So they're all spray painted, and they look very antique-ish. I bought these paint from Michael's Craft Store, and they're the Krylon Premium Metallic Paint. This one is the 18 karat gold paint, which looks awesome, I think. And this one is the Copper Brilliance paint. But they were about $5 each. And I ended up spending $6 for both of them because I brought in a 50% off coupon from Michael's Craft Store. But yeah, I hope you guys have fun with this. And I will come back with maybe a better tutorial next time. I will see you guys later. Peace out, crafters.